Hello and welcome back to Sane Sunday Live. We're glad to see you here. On this show, we do car trivia. Hello, Horses Shop. First in chat. We do car trivia on this show, and you get a chance to be on screen share, your YouTube channel on screen share, while we do the next question. But before we get to that, we'd like to give back to the community by going over the calendar of local events and supporting the car shows and cruise-ins by shouting them out and giving them some free exposure. Most of these car shows support children's charities and veterans charities, and so we like to support them. It is April, and the next car show is the 27th, and that is Bugapalooza. Hello, Camaro Time. Welcome to the chat. It's great to see you. The Bugapalooza starts at 8 a.m. on Saturday, the 27th of April, and goes on till 5 p.m. Sunday, the 28th of April, and they do benefit the Ronald McDonald's House, which helps out the families of sick children. There's also, if you're further south and you want to go to something, there's the Kennesaw Mountain Shrine Car Show and Gospel Singing at 1380 White Circle Northwest Marietta. That is also on the 27th of April. May the 4th is the Peach State Tractor Show, 9 a.m. at Prater's Mill in Dalton, Georgia, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. May the 11th is the 4th Cruising Car, Truck, Bike, and Plane Show, put on by Sean Evans at Tom B. David Field, 1957 Highway 41, South-Southwest Calhoun, Georgia, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Now, it is the kids get a free airplane ride from 8-year-old to 17-year-old. And this is to benefit the Redeemed Youth Group. On the 25th of May is Streetcar Life. From 8 a.m. till 1 p.m. at the Chat State parking lot. That's a huge venue, and we will be there. There are over $2,400 in prizes. Scenic City Cruisers will be there. North Georgia Stangs will be there. And Saneauto, the king and queen of the car scene, will be there. So you have a chance of being on YouTube on one of our videos if you're there. There will also be face painting for the kids and dyno testing for the big kids. There's going to be a special lot for featured cars, and they will be taking donations for Brantley. Brantley's a little boy who needs a heart transplant. So on the same weekend is the Smoky Mountain Auto Stampede in Gatlinburg at the Twin Creek Picnic Pavilion. That's put on by Don Lowry, and that's to benefit the We Care outreach, and they collect toys for children. So that's far enough into the show car. June is going to be even more packed with show cars and more events, cruise-ins. But next we have the hashtag Insanefriends calendar, and then we're going to get to car trivia. On the calendar we have right now, you are at Sane Sunday Live on Sunday. Usually starts at 7:30. We did get a little late start. Apologize for that. Right after us is Gregory Salvatore at 9 p.m. Then Monday, Etard Adventures carries the awesome torch. I'm gonna have to change that on the calendar. He had changed his channel name for a little while, and he's back to Etard Adventures again. So let's just go ahead and correct that. Tuesday is Bubsification. 9 p.m. And Wednesday, we're right back here with the Insane Friends show at 7:30, followed by Muscle Car Appraisal at 9 p.m. Then Thursday is Dorito and the Lucha Cabra at 9:30, followed by Easy 2 Tips and Tricks, etc., etc. at 10:30. They are both in California, so that's more like 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock in California. It is 9 and 10 here on the East Coast. Saturday is Choppers Rule 1, 6:30 p.m., followed by Fab Automotive Detailing. One more look at that. You need to see a copy of it. There's a copy of this on Saneauto Facebook page. And a lot of other hashtag Insane Friends on Saneauto Facebook page. You want to see what videos they're putting out during the week, go check that out. We also have the Sane Enterprises Facebook mastermind group. It's a little more exclusive. And if you want to share any of your videos so you can get more views on your videos, go ahead and go to the Saneauto Facebook page and share them there. Hello, Old Car Auto Guy. Welcome to the chat. And Beauregard Rippy is here. All right. We've got plenty of people to throw out some guesses at the car trivia tonight. We're going to start with, and all the car trivia tonight has to do with British car. Little British car company. On April the 12th, 1888, which was just a couple of days ago, not 1888, but the April 12 was, the founder of a very popular British car company was born. His name was Cecil Kimber. What was the name of the car company? Welcome to the chat, Happy Lux. And Burning Rubber Garage is here. Awesome. Great to see you guys here. We're into the car trivia already. Dorito and Lucha Cabra. All right. They are live Thursday night. On April the 12th, 1888, Cecil Kimber was born. He is the founder of a very popular British car company. What was the name of the car company? Dorito. Austin Healy, that's close, but that's not it. Good guess, though. Very good guess. Burning Rubber Gross, thank you for being a fan. Awesome. We need all the hashtag Insane Friends we can get. Tiger, no. Oh, Car Auto Guy. Hey, all right. Good job. MG. It was the MG Car Company Limited. That is exactly what we're looking for. MG is the correct answer. Good job, old Car Auto Guy. Let's see what we can get here on screen share. Look at those MGs. That is what Cecil Kimber came up with. He was born in 1888. Nowadays, when somebody says they were born in 1888, it means something totally different. in '88. And they speak about the 80s, but this guy was from 1888, not 1988. Still pumping out lots of good old car content. Something here for everybody to love, and a 1,000 subscriber giveaway. When y'all have giveaways, share it on the Saneauto Facebook. We'll try to get you more traffic to your giveaway. I mean, nobody wants to do a giveaway and then hear a bunch of crickets. It's a sad thing to happen. Try to get to where I can see your chat on the phone here. There we go. I think I got it. Okay, next question. What does MG stand for? What does MG stand for? Impact's Garage and Gaming. Yeah, we're going to be in tornado watch here pretty soon as well, and the winds have already been really bad. Oh, Beauregard, it's not Motor Group. Good guess, though. Later on in their life, they became part of a company that had Motor Group in it, in the name. They were owned by that parent company, but they weren't involved in the beginning. It stood for something else. Another guy that was involved in the founding of this company, very much involved. I would dare say just as involved in the founding of this of MG as Cecil Kimber. Ito. Oh, thank you. That's a pretty good guess. The Morgan Garages. Now that was the name. That was actually what it stood for. It was Morgan Garages, owned by Morris Cars. And Mr. Morris, William Morris, you have to let somebody else guess next time so I can put them on screen share. But Morris Cars owned Morris Garages, and William Morris owned Morris Garages and Morris Cars. And Cecil Kimber was employed as his manager. Now, for our third question, and let somebody else answer it so we can put them on screen share. But the third question is, what decade did Cecil Kimber start MG Cars as a sales promotion sideline to help get more business into Morris Cars or Morris Garages? Cecil Kimber was working for William Morris at the time, running Morris Cars and Morris Garages and selling Morris Cars. Beauregard Rippey, very good. It was the 20s. It was somewhere in the 1920s. Somewhere in the 1920s. It was the beginning of all these beautiful, neat little MGs. Beauregard Rippey, that's some new background photo, isn't it? Rippey's inexpensive tire disposal. That looks interesting. Oh, you update your channel art every day. Wow. Now, some little more interesting trivia about MGs. My mother actually drove an MG, a little black MG convertible, when we lived at Warner Robins Air Base in the 60s. She actually drove it longer than that, but I wasn't alive before the 60s, so. Now the fourth question, and if anybody's already won, please don't answer. Give somebody else a chance to be on screen share. The fourth question is, MG was Morse's personal property till 1935 because the company wasn't publicly traded or anything, so he owned everything outright till 1935 when there was a merger with Austin. And then MG became part of the British Motor Corporation. That was in 1952 that MG became part of the British Motor Corporation. No, I'm sorry. It was in 1935, it merged and it became part of the British. It was in 1952, it became part of the British Leyland Motor Corporation. No, I just messed that all up. The question is what year did it become part of the British Leyland Motor Corporation? And it did become part of the British Motor Group in 1952. It merged with Austin in 1935. Let me get all my facts straight. It merged with Austin in 1935, became part of the British Motor Corporation in 1952. And what year? The question is, what year did it become part of the British Leyland Motor Corporation? Now, if you weren't completely, utterly confused by my messing that completely all to crap, you might have a chance of getting the answer. If you are completely, utterly confused, I apologize. It was completely my fault. Just start throwing years out there. Camaro Time says Elvis bought one from the movie Blue Hawaii. Yeah, I read about that somewhere and said it was the funnest car he had ever driven. It was auto fare. Did I read about that somewhere, or did I see that in one of your videos, Camaro Time? Elvis shot his Pantera, and he shot his TV too. Okay. It was at Auto Fair. Okay. So I must have seen that in one of your videos then. This is why it sounds so familiar. Elvis bought the Pantera for Linda. Any guesses at what year MG became part of British Leyland Motor Corporation? Oh, I just read it somewhere. It wasn't in your video? Okay. MG became part of British Leyland Motor Corporation in what year? Any guesses? Happy Lux, any guesses? Dorito and Luke Chicabra, any guesses? Horses Shop, care to guess? Camaro time. What year did Gregory Salvatore, you want to guess at it? What year did MG become part of British Leyland Motor Corporation? Happy Lucks, want to guess? Oh, Camaro time. Good job. It was 1968. 1968. Ding, 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 ding. That's the correct answer. It did indeed become part of the British Leyland Motor Corporation in 1968. Blam. Grill in your face. Look at that. It's about to hit 3,400. Just about to hit 3,400. Just one more, people. One more, and Camaro time will hit 3,400. And well deserved it is. I mean, look at all the great videos and the great editing and the great music he puts in his videos. And he even shares all his secrets of how he does this. I mean, look at right there. There's another video sharing where he gets all this great music, where to get music and how to add it to your videos. Two years after you were born, it was a year after I was born. So we're very close right there. I was born in 67 on U.S. Air Base, bloodiest year of Vietnam. My dad and all my uncles were right there in the thick of it. Bam! You just hit 3,400. Thank you, Beauregard. What an insane friend. That's some insane growth and insane support. Woo! Great job, guys. Congratulations, Camaro time. Hit 3,400. Let's refresh the page and see if it'll refresh the number. Bam! There it is. 3,400 right there. Where's my little noise maker thingy thing? Yeah, there we go. Woo! All right. Sorry about your ears, guys. Congratulations, Camaro time. That is awesome. It happened right here on Sane Sunday Live. Our next question is, by 2000, MG was part of the MG Rover Group. By the year 2000, MG was part of the MG Rover Group. When did production of MG cars cease? What year was the last of the MGs? Now, I, for one, was surprised that they made it all the way to 2000. I thought I knew quite a bit about MGs till I started doing research, and then I learned they were still making cars 2000 and later, and they were part of the MG Motor Group. I didn't know that. That was surprising. But they kept on making cars for a while. Oh, where's Carol at? Yeah, she's had a hard day. Well, you know, she's been helping. It's the weekend. And so she's out from behind the insurance desk, and she's been doing some heavy lifting with me, loading parts, and a real trooper. But her back is really killing her after unloading all the stuff today that we loaded up yesterday. And a lot of it was the big rear-wheel drive shafts and stuff like that, and a whole bunch of other front-wheel drive shafts, and then starters and alternators, and that's what really got her. So she's wiped out. We're going to have to give her a break. She also was a trooper and came up to the 4th through 8th shelves yesterday, because the shelves are 13.5 feet high. They've got actually 9. There's a 9th shelf on the top, but we were working as high as the 8th shelf. And she was up there with me, even though she doesn't like being that high. She's up there with me helping box up parts and stuff yesterday. There was also moving of one of the vans. We threw a bunch of kits and MAF sensors and all that into one of the vans that I still had over there at the shop. And we loaded that sucker up on the tow dolly and took it out here and unloaded it. And it needs a fuel pump in it, so we couldn't just drive it up on the dolly. We had to winch it up with a come along, and then we had to pull it off with the little Camry and the tow rope when we got here. Wow, you fell 40 feet. Well, that's amazing in itself. And then willing to get right back up there, that's pretty amazing. My fear of heights is kind of weird. I mean, I fear it in some ways and not in others. I mean, I can be on the top of a big hill and be just fine. I can be up in a big high-story building and be fine. I even go up and down in glass elevators on the outside of the buildings and stuff, and no problem. But what kills me is and short ladders aren't a big problem, but being up on a tall ladder and the least bit of wind and that ladder start bows with my steps, or the wind makes it move a little bit, any of that, and I just freeze up. Can't stand it. Can't stand those high ladders. And pump jacks are awful. Hate being on pump jacks. I hate being on pump jacks worse than being on scaffolding. The thing I don't like about scaffolding is being somewhere in the middle of the walk plank where you can't hold the metal scaffolding with your hand. There's nothing you can grab with your hand except for the wall in front of you. Never liked that. But I had a lot of experience with all that stuff. Yeah, tree work. Tree work's another thing. I don't like doing tree work. Beauregard, I do not like doing tree work. Nope, can't get very high in a tree. But trees do the same thing as tall ladders. They'll sway and move and wiggle around, and that just, no, Ooh, you landed 3 inches from a screw jack? Oh my gosh. Yeah, so just 3 inches from it killing you. Bam. That 40 feet fall could kill you by itself. If you landed on a screw jack 3 inches over and landed on that screw jack, we would have totally missed out on all that wonderful stuff you put on your YouTube, because you wouldn't be here. So anybody want to guess? By the year 2000, MG was part of the MG Rover Group. When did production of the MG cars cease? It was only a few years later. There's one of your hints. Only a few years later. Very close, Impacts. Very close. You're within 1 year of getting it right. Impact Garage and Gaming. Woo! Reviewing, playing, and more RPM. Thank you so much. That is awesome. Thank you for the super chat. Woohoo! Impacts Garage and Gaming. You are correct. It is 05. Reviewing, playing, and more. Oh, Uso Garage. Welcome here. RPM, to get you caught up, we're deep into the car trivia. We're doing, it's all about MG cars. On April 12th, 1888, Cecil Kimber was born. And he founded MG Cars. What the first question was, what car company did he found? It was MG Cars. And the second question was, what does MG stand for? That is Morris's Garage, owned by Morris's Cars. Congratulations on hitting 500 Impacts Garage and Gaming. Now, William Morris owned Morris's Garages and Morris's Cars, and he employed Cecil Kimber as his manager. And the next question was, what decade did Cecil Kimber start MG Cars as a sales promotion sideline to bring more business into Morris's Cars and Morris's Garages? And that was in the 20s. That happened in the 20s. I think most of us spend a lot of time driving and working on and driving these kinds of cars that you see on Impact's Garage and Gaming. That is a good question. A question just for fun from Pete at Camaro Time. He's got a great trivia question here. Why are the master cylinders tilted in some of the earlier cars? The bonus question, anybody want to try to guess at that? Why were the master cylinders tilted in some of the earlier cars? And pay attention to the answer to this question, because we'll be using this question in a later show somewhere. Some of the information you learn here will get recycled in later shows, including that one. So you have an advantage if you are a regular attendance to the shows. Johnny Pro, welcome to the chat. Uzo Lou's Garage is here. Thank you again for the super chat, reviewing Playing in More RPM. And you have to wait. You have to put your answers in the chat for Camaro Time to see. He will let you know if you get the answer correct or not. RPM's got some good new videos on his channel too about the computers, and I've seen he's using that Lazy Susan that he bought for making it easier and better to see when he turns the computer stuff around. If you weren't here earlier in the program, Camaro Time hit 3,400 right here on live. Hello, Bodgett and Leggett Garage. Bodgett and Leggett Garage is in the house. Our trivia tonight is all about MG cars. We started out with Cecil Kimber being the founder of a very popular British car company. He was born on April 12th, 1888, just a couple of days ago, 100 years ago. Well, way over 100 years ago. And the first question was, what was that car company? Of course, that was MG Car Company Limited. Our second question was, what does MG stand for? And that was Morris's Garages, owned by Morris's Cars. And our third question was, William Morris owned Morris's Garages, and Cecil Kimber was employed as his manager. What decade did Cecil Kimber start MG Cars as a sales promotion sideline? And that was in the 20s. MG came standard with rust. Yes, most cars did back in the day. Now, MG was our fourth question was MG was Morris's personal property till 1935 when it merged with Austin. It became part of the British Motor Corporation in 1952. What year did it become part of British Leyland Motor Corporation? Now, the rest of the guys already got this, but I'll be interested to know if you know the answer to that, Bodgett and Leggett, because I'd be willing to bet you do. What year did MG become part of the British Leyland Motor Corporation? Right now, the rest of the guys are struggling with Camaro Time's question. He asked, why do some of the older cars have the master cylinder tilted up? Okay, and there he's done revealed the answer. We did get MG midgets over here. I don't know about the frog-eyed Sprite. We did have MG midgets over here. My mother drove an MGB when we lived on Warner Robins Air Force Base in the 60s. It was black and convertible. I know someone I'd like to pick to put on the screen. Thank you, Reviewing Plane, RPM, and more for the super chat. That is awesome of you. Really appreciate that. Oh, and Bodgett and Leggett Garage, while you weren't here, another very wonderful thing happened. Camaro Time hit 3,400 subscribers right here in the live. I believe Beauregard Rippey had something to do with that. As well as another 3,999 people. RPM, that laptop review's already got over 200 views on it. I know that one on our Sane Enterprises YouTube page got lots and lots of views as well. Little reminder, Gregory Salvatore will be live at 9 o'clock, so I will be wrapping it up here pretty quickly. Look at those beautiful MG cars right there. There's another MG right down the street from us. No, I'm sorry, I lied. It's not an MG down the street from us. It is a Triumph down the street from us. One of the Triumphs that looks very similar to this MG right here. It is at one of the hardware stores, and it gets driven a lot. Oh, no, you were close, Bodgett and Leggett. It was not 73. It was 1968, but they were very close. It was 1968 they became part of British Leyland Motor Corporation. I believe 73 is when we lost BSA and everything they had left over went over to Triumph. Which would mean 72 was the last year of the BSAs. Until recently, of course, they're being produced again. That gets us to our last question about MG. Oh, and you missed this other one question, Budget, get you caught up so that the last question will make sense. The fifth question was, by 2000, MG was part of the MG Rover Group. When did production of MG cars cease? Yes, they were, and I completely agree with that. The Triumph Spitfire and the Triumph Stag were beautiful cars. There were a lot of these MGs were beautiful cars as well. I mean, just look at that. Now, I don't really care for that one right there, the Magnet. And this MG sedan here, but all these other MGs, well, not that one either, nor that one. I like these kind right here, which is similar to what my mother had. She had one of these older ones, but hers was black, like kind of like this black right here. But it didn't have that grille. Had a different grille. But they were always, most of them were really good about having these curves. They all had nice curves. Neat little cars. Okay, so, yep, Reviewing, Playing, and More, that is absolutely correct, is 2005. Oh, so you missed out on having one. Impact's Garage and Gaming just narrowly missed getting a 74 Triumph Spitfire from a friend. Yeah, we've all got some regrets about not moving fast enough to get something. You're not alone there. Yeah, you're born in 84. It did good to get that close to getting the right year. Okay, the last question tonight. Yeah, their production ceased in 2005. The last question tonight is, MG is now owned by SAIC. Production started again on the MGs under SAIC in 2011. What country is that company based in, which is also the same country that they're being produced in? So what country are these new MGs being produced? And what country is that company based in? It's the same country. And it is not UK. Dad had a 67 Cougar Impact. I had, when I was in high school, I drove a 71 Cougar XR7. Camaro time, you are absolutely correct. It is China. China's taken over the world. Well, they're not getting all of it because India has got the rights to BSA, and they've been producing brand new BSAs, and they've been producing Royal Enfields for quite some time. But it is China. Oh my gosh. They put a piece of wood in there to raise the suspension to meet U.S. standards. Yeah, you had to have a certain amount of ground clearance over here, and I can see exactly how that would ruin the handling of the car. Because it raised the center of gravity. Which is one of the reasons why, you know, American cars are notorious for having really bad handling in curves. I'm like that with my Impact Garage. I'm like that with my Mustang. I still have the Mustang. I still have the old Triumph motorcycle. It's just not my daily drivers anymore. But that's pretty cool. He's still got his old Cougar, the 67 Cougar. And those 67 Cougars are beautiful cars. Maybe you could put a picture of it on the Saneauto Facebook page sometime, Impacts. Welcome to the chat, Fab Automotive Detailing. He is live as part of the hashtag Insanefriends calendar at 9 p.m. on Saturday nights. Check him out then. You'll learn a lot about the cleaning products for your vehicles. Camaro Time had an XR7 at one time as well. They were the original with the sequential taillights that Mustang didn't get until in the 90s. Mine had sequential taillights in 1971. That's what one of the features that the XR7s came with. Yep. They were right. They were straddling that line between luxury cars and muscle cars. What we would call a GT today, a Grand Tour. A little bit of extra luxury and a little bit of extra power. You know, muscle car body. Yeah, mine had bucket seats and a console back when everything else had a bench seat, other than like Mustangs and Camaros and some muscle cars, some Mopars like the oh, my coffee's starting to wear off. Barracudas, Plymouth Barracudas, and the Superbirds, and Bottle Caps is here. Just got done watching one of your videos right before we started the live. Did we have a long commercial on here? Yeah, I've noticed a lot of times YouTube is putting 2 commercials in front of everybody's videos now. 2 commercials before the video even starts. Bodgett and Leggett says, what horsepower did the American cars have in the 80s? And what was the size of the engines? Does to give you an idea, we had a Ford Sierra Cosworth 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo that produced over 500 base horsepower standard. Well, to give you an idea, that 4-cylinder Cosworths were great engines and stuff. We didn't get a lot of Cosworths here, and when we did, people didn't know how to take care of them, and they would complain about them because they would ruin them. They wouldn't even change the oil in them, just put gas in them and expect them to live. But to give you an idea of the difference in horsepower and stuff over here, my 85 Corvette has the second generation of fuel injection, which was 20 horsepower better than the 84s, and it was a lot more reliable too. But that car still only had like 240 horsepower with a 350 cubic inch V8. So twice the cylinders and half the power, and a lot more weight. Oh, we had a Victoria's Secret commercial. My favorite commercial on our videos when we get it is when we get the Chuck Norris videos, the Chuck Norris commercials. I like that. So it's a base model. Somebody must have paid extra when it was new to get an automatic transmission in it, because I think it cost about $300 more back then for automatic transmission. Yeah, when I'm watching y'all's videos, I let the ads run too, because if you're monetized and the ads don't run, then you don't get any money. Impacts Gaming says, Bodge and Leggett garage. The 80s weren't much for horsepower. 150 to 250 was considered acceptable for a sporty car. The 60s, however, was a great time for horsepower. Lots of cars had over 400 horsepower right out of the box. And this is true, and that's why they call them muscle cars from the 60s. They had all the power. In the late 70s, most of the time in the 80s, the cars that we could afford were from the late 70s. And from around 75 to 79 was the worst time for horsepower. We were lucky if we get 150 horsepower, 160 horsepower. That was very lucky to have that much out of a really big V8. You know, most of them had barely over 100 horsepower, and they were heavy. In the 80s, yeah, 150, 250, 250 was a very, very powerful sports car in the 80s. Like I said, the 86 stock brand new came with 240 horsepower, and that was 20 horsepower more than the 84 had, which was 220. And that was the Corvette. That was, but there were some special cars back then, like the Darth Buick was its nickname. They only came in black, and they were Buicks. with a V6, turbocharged V6. I managed to video one at one of the car shows here lately, but every once in a while they'd come into the garage or the car wash or something like that in the 80s, brand new, and everybody was just like, what? And 86 was the most powerful of them, and they had like 300 horsepower out of the V6 with a very large turbocharger on it. And since, you know, Star Wars was very, very popular at the time, we just called them Darth Buicks. They were all black, and they were all business. They made a really good sleeper, too, right off the showroom floor. Because they didn't look that fast, but man. And they didn't have a V8, so everybody, yeah, you're right, Johnny Pro. The Grand National. That's exactly what that was. It was the Buick Grand National. And it looked like a black Buick, but if you saw the emblems closely, hey, baby. Oh, thanks for reminding me, baby. Love you too, baby. Goodbye. Yep, we've got to wrap it up quickly because I'm going to be live and on top of Gregory Salvatore's live if we don't wrap it up. And Bottle Cap's got a customer just pulled in, so he's going to have to go anyway. One last look at these MG cars we've been talking about all night long. See if we get a bigger picture of the black one right there. Nice looking cars. Thank you all for coming. Really appreciate you being here tonight and hanging out with me. Talking about cars. Oh, there's a good picture of the assembly line. Building the MGs. Back when they were built in Britain. Right. Thank you once again for being here tonight for Sane Sunday Live. Don't forget to go to Gregory Salvatore's live at 9 p.m. and visit with all the other hashtag Insane friends like yourselves on the hashtag Insane Friends live calendar. You can see a copy of the calendar and exactly when everybody's going to be live on the Saneauto Facebook page. There's one there. And if you're a member of the Sane Enterprises Facebook page, you can see it there as well. That is our mastermind group for YouTube page owners. And thanks again to Reviewing, Playing, and More RPM for the super chat. Woo! And congratulations to Camaro Time. Hit 3,400. Woo! All right. Y'all have a great night. And until the next video, get off the couch and get dirty.